So I want to start this morning. I'm going to share my leadership journey with you. I started down my own education path in this school district at Salja Elementary School. Salja is an amazing school that serves a very tight-knit community of families who are hugely invested in education. With fewer than 100 students in 3 multi-age classrooms when I attended, it's at Salja where academic success and intense competition became part of my foundation as a learner. I immersed myself in the interiors Nordic ski racing community and from a very young age had the opportunity to travel across the United States, representing Alaska in the cross-country ski world. I then attended grades 7 through 12 at Ben Eielson Junior Senior High School, and I was so privileged this last spring to attend Eielson's graduation 30 years after I had walked across the very same stage to accept my diploma. I spent my undergraduate years at UAF where I switched from cross-country skiing to shooting, and I competed on the university rifle team and again had the opportunity to travel all over the country competing. After earning my bachelor's degree and completing the Teachers for Alaska program at UAF, I moved to Anchorage and went to graduate school at UAA, where I earned my master's degree in special education. At UAA, I got involved in the Wilderness Education program. It was a project adventure class that began to change my thinking about success and how we achieve that. Doing high ropes courses and backcountry trips with teams of people I'd never met before sparked a shift in my thinking about competition. I began to understand and appreciate the power of relationships and collaboration, and to realize how powerful we can become when very motivated, talented, driven individuals share their strengths and passions and function together as a cohesive team. My first teaching position was at my alma mater, Ben Eielson High School. After that first year, I was transferred to North Pole Middle School, which I absolutely loved. I was then assigned to Lathrop High School, where I spent 10 years as assistant principal and then principal. Lathrop is where my heart and my passion for education expanded beyond the classroom. I loved the diversity at Lathrop High School, and I hung the sign that's still up today proclaiming, "Diversity is our strength." As I got to know students and families at Lathrop, I also started to realize how essential public education is to closing the opportunity gap for students. Lathrop ignited my drive to ensure that every single one of our students, when they leave our classrooms, our schools, and our district, is ready for the next step in their future. I believe it is imperative that we give all our students the skills and the experiences they need to be successful. After a decade at Lathrop, I became assistant superintendent for secondary schools. During that time, I finished my college degree my doctorate degree, and in the spring of 2014, the school board asked me to be interim superintendent. This marks the beginning of my 4th year as superintendent in our school district. I started the superintendent portion of my journey facing immediate challenges. It felt like I was dropped into a raging section of river with class 5 rapids. I think finally, now, 3 years later, we have closed the last chapter on the trauma our district faced in the spring of 2014. And I just want to say how appreciative I am of all of you who walked with me and with our staff and with our families through that challenging time. That was not the type of issue one could deal with alone. It took an entire team to recover and to get where we are today. So in my 20s, when my knees were fully functional, I worked as a guide in the Brooks Range. At that time, maps were essential to my work. When leading a river or a backpacking trip, I used different types of maps with different scales. Larger quadrant maps showed broad areas and provided general guidance to the destination. Smaller quadrant maps showed the details of the journey and were essential when deciding which fork of a river to take or which route to hike across a valley or over a ridge. One of the defining elements of my superintendency has been the strategic plan developed by the school board in 2015 after they collected a broad range of stakeholder input and engaged in exhaustive planning. The board updated that plan this last spring, and they've set our course for the next 5 years. The strategic plan is the large quadrant map that guides our work. Our mission is student success. That is our North Star. It is what we set our course by and what guides us on our individual journeys. The school board's vision is a powerful statement driving growth in our district. As the world constantly and quickly changes, the strategic plan challenges us to evolve and to adapt our teaching to meet student learning needs. We have to look ahead to our students' futures and do everything we can to prepare them for the world they will be entering when they leave us. This year's kindergarten class will graduate in the year 2030. There are students in our youngest classrooms who will welcome in a new century. Can you even imagine the changes that our students will experience between 2017 and the year 2100? I graduated from Eielson in 1987. Here's just a small collection of innovations after 1987 that has significantly impacted my life and the way I do business professionally and personally. What will this year's high school seniors experience after graduation that will change the way they work and live? Look at the evolution of X-ray equipment from the decade I was born to the modern technology used in the medical field today. Mary Borough, CEO and chairman of General Motors, has said she believes the automotive industry will change more in the next 5 to 10 years than it has in the last 50. In 1987, when I graduated, I would order clothes from Sears catalog. Now I tell Alexa what to order. And now I just on TV last night, you can talk to Alexa, like you can see Alexa. And Amazon started piloting package delivery by drones in the United States last March. Here are innovations developed after 1999, the year the class of 2018 was born. Another observation from Mary Borough. Technological change rarely advances smoothly. It advances in pulses, in revolutions. Telecommunications progressed from telegraph to telephone, from copper wire to fiber optics, from analog to digital, from wireless to satellite. This pattern holds true in virtually every field, and each pulse opens the door to new innovations that revolutionize industries and sometimes society. That is why it is critical that we give students the skills that they need to be successful, that we meet their learning needs, that we ensure they're ready for their futures. To be future ready, students must achieve a baseline of academic success, but they must also be able to collaborate. They need opportunities to create and innovate. They need to know how to identify a problem and then engage in the iterative process of design, develop, test, analyze, and refine to solve that problem. They need to connect to a larger global network of learners and teachers and information that will inform their work, their perspective, and their experiences. In addition to the big map, the strategic plan also provides smaller quadrant maps with more detail and direction for our journey. The strategic goals and objectives are where we find some of the specific hows and whys of our work. The first strategic goal is personalized learning, and we are making great progress providing students and families with options to meet their education needs. Last year, we added full-day kindergarten to 3 more schools. This year, full-day K is expanding again to North Pole Elementary, Tickassook Brown, and Midnight Sun Elementary Schools. The school board voted to move forward with offering K-8 options at 5 of our elementary schools. Arctic Light, Hunter, Joy, Ladd, and Nordale will engage with their communities this year to plan for the first phase of implementation next fall. We're conducting a comprehensive review of our career and technical education programs to determine how CTE can best prepare students for employment in a global economy. One of the outcomes of this review will be a 5-year vision and model for CTE, including a strategic direction for Hutchinson High School based on input from staff, parents, community stakeholders, and industry leaders. Supporting effective teaching and a culture of continuous success is another one of the small maps within the larger strategic plan. We know that to effectively meet all students' learning needs, there are essential questions that guide our instructional process. What do we want our students to learn and be able to do? How will we teach to make sure every single student meets those goals? How will we know if a student has or has not learned? How will we respond if they have not learned? How will we respond if they already know it or if they learn it very quickly? We start with the Alaska Standards and with our district's foundational curriculum and materials. We then dive deeper into 4 key elements that help us personalize our instruction so that we meet individual student learning needs. We use real-time assessment and data to drive our teaching decisions with each student. We target instruction to align with specific student needs and learning goals. We make sure students have ownership in their learning and opportunities to reflect. We leverage technology and digital content to allow for individualized learning paths and pacing. And then we ensure that we give students opportunities to learn about themselves and to apply concepts within the context of their own culture. Here's an example of one of our outstanding elementary teachers who uses data to drive her instructional decisions. Julie McHenry's 4th grade class dramatically exceeded their projected growth targets in math, reading, and language arts. Listen to how she individualizes for each student. I recently saw results of the work elementary teachers did during the design phase of their personalized learning journey last spring. Here are samples of instructional models created by our own teachers that they will test in their classrooms this fall. You can see how teachers are thinking about structuring class time and physical space to provide a variety of learning options for kids and to maximize one-on-one and small group time. Middle school teachers, you begin the design phase this fall. Now for me, it always helps to see what the possibilities look like at each different grade level. This is a video clip of middle school teachers in Dysart Unified School District in Arizona, personalizing instruction to meet the needs of their students. A number of our Fairbanks high school teachers are using blended learning to differentiate instruction. Here's a look at high school teachers in another district who have also just begun that journey and are learning how to enhance their instruction. After receiving input from 457 staff members and students from almost every single school in the district Personalized Learning Council finalized our Personalized Learning Why statement. Our student input was powerful. A North Pole High School student said, instead of having each kid learn at a lower level, this can allow those who need more help to get that help, and those who can excel are able to excel. And from a Denali Elementary student, teachers will have more time to work one-on-one with students, and the students can learn on their own too. We are on our way as an entire system to personalizing learning for our students. Now, some of you who've been on this journey a long time, you have already crossed that river and the valley, and you are halfway up the mountain. For others, some of these ideas are new, and you're waiting to be sure the support and that the tools you need will be there for you. As superintendent, it is my goal to support teacher creativity and innovation and risk-taking as you work to meet the needs of your individual students so that all our district children reach their destination, which is success. Now look, we know right now that not all our students are reaching that destination. Our district graduation rate is 74.2%. Our dropout rate is 4.1%. And yes, our tenure trends are positive, but there is still clearly room for growth. When you look at the gaps between some of our highest and some of our lowest achieving student populations, again, we see there is a great deal of room for improvement. While some of our students are achieving success, others are not. We know that there are many factors schools cannot control. But I challenge all of us to think about and try to improve the areas we do control. In a couple weeks, you're going to see the first round of PEAKS testing from last spring. School teams will analyze all your student populations and grade levels and content areas and determine where you need to focus attention. You also have map data, national test data, student grades by content area, gender, and ethnicity. By the end of this year, after 2 full cycles of peaks and map, we should have a comprehensive assessment system in place that includes real-time formative data in the classroom, student growth data over the course of the year, and an annual spring assessment that paints the big picture. Teachers will have the full range of information necessary to make instructional decisions. Effective communication is the second goal in our strategic plan. Communicating well with all stakeholders is one of those jobs that is just never done. Some of my own adventures on this journey have included challenges around communication. We know that to be effective leaders, we have to be vulnerable. We have to be willing to share our challenges and even share our failures. So I will be honest with you, balancing the needs between internal communication with staff and external communication with community stakeholders has been one of my challenges. Last November, I got the external and the internal communication backwards with regards to our personalized learning rollout. So I compare that period to crossing a river while backpacking, but underestimating the speed of the current. When you're carrying a full pack, if you misstep and fall, you start to get swept downstream. And it can take every ounce of energy you can summon to get back over to the bank. And then, completely water-soaked in Alaska, probably freezing cold, you've got to regroup and get back on the right path. It took a while to get back on the right path after November. But as schools settled into the work and as people have been able to see that personalized learning really is about excellent teaching and focusing on individual student learning needs, the route has become more clear and the communication has been more targeted and successful. As adults, if we're going to build a culture of innovation and creativity, if we are going to nurture a growth mindset in our students, then we need to be willing to take risks too. We as adults have to learn to fail forward. We have to try new things. We have to take those shots, and we have to iterate our practice if we want to improve. So I have restructured the public relations grants and the print shop departments in the district office into one communication, development, and engagement department. I think this new team approach to communication will greatly improve our ability to meet district communication needs. And we continue to expand our communication toolkit. You know, our parents have told us how they want to receive information. Many of them prefer Instagram and Twitter. They definitely want texts rather than emails. There is a wide range of ways our community engages with us. As we add communication tools for all staff, I challenge you to personalize your communication methods to meet the needs of your parents and your school community. Last year, we launched some very exciting community engagement initiatives. Bright Futures Fairbanks has brought together businesses, faith-based organizations, nonprofits, military units, the school district, service clubs, and parent groups, all with the purpose of meeting a child's basic needs within 24 hours. One of my favorite events last year was the inaugural No One Left Behind Awards Night. We partnered with the Fairbanks Rescue Mission to present awards to exemplary first responders, in law enforcement, firefighting, and emergency medical services. One of my other favorite events was One Homeless Night. Our team built a terrific box, and we spent the night in it to raise money in support of The Door, a nonprofit agency that provides shelter for homeless youth in Fairbanks. So I plan to do this again this fall, and we have big plans about how all of you can get involved to help support the efforts of this wonderful community partner. So if students are the tire and teachers are the rim, district support are the hub and the spokes. And to create an environment that supports staff and a culture where students thrive, the center of that tire must be strong. We seem to now be in a phase where legislative sessions and budget development are year-long events. I know this creates fatigue, and all of us are very weary of the economic uncertainty in Alaska. I will continue to evolve our budget process so the school board gets the best information possible to make budget decisions. The second year that I was superintendent, I implemented district-wide staff surveys so all staff could weigh in on priorities and share your thoughts with the school board. This year, my goal is to revise our budget committee so that membership is more reflective of district stakeholders. We know that across Alaska, hiring teachers is a challenge. Last year was the first year Fairbanks had unfilled vacancies in regular education positions well into the school year. As quickly as the university can provide teachers, we are hiring them. We are also partnering with the university to grow our own Alaska teachers in the state. Through Educators Rising, we will encourage Fairbanks students to become teachers and to join this rewarding profession. I'm excited about the work the curriculum department has done to create rubrics and guidelines to vet all the digital content and online tools that are available. As we move toward open education resources and as you find software and apps to help support your instruction, you could use the rubrics to help determine quality. And you will also be able to share the great tools that you do find with your colleagues across the district. We also continue to integrate technology into all areas of our work. We've expanded wireless access across schools. We have a new personalized learning platform, Mileposts, that will make student data easily accessible. Blackboard has been expanded, so teachers and parents have more communication options. We are increasing the number of devices we have so students can have one-to-one access in every classroom, and teachers don't have to check out a computer card or go to a lab for students to use technology. So as the world around us evolves and changes, so do we. But our destination, student success, remains the same. On our journey as educators, we work hard to provide students with the skills and experiences they need to be ready for their futures and their journeys. We take risks, we innovate, we collaborate, we design, we try, we regroup, we fail forward. And we also guide learning. When students reach a challenge, we give them a range of options to cross that river. We facilitate as they build a bridge or a raft or a canoe. We support as they try a strategy they chose to solve a problem they've identified. And if it doesn't work the first time, we help them find materials and we provide resources that will lead to success. And then when students do reach the other side, we celebrate with them. And we celebrate with each other. We are making great progress in this school district. This year we are implementing many initiatives that have been put in motion the last couple of years. As we achieve success in each of these areas, when we reach the other side of that valley or the top of the mountain, let's remember to pause in our journeys and to celebrate our successes too. I hope to join you in your many celebrations throughout the school year. Thank you.